Well, let's get all the latest on what is happening on the ground in Ukraine. I'm joined here at the screen by military analyst Philip Ingram. Hi again to you, Philip. Of course, today, as we were hearing there from Aisha, is Orthodox Christmas in the Russian calendar. What do we know about this so-called ceasefire, which President Putin has offered?
Well, Orthodox Christmas Day, day 318 of Vladimir Putin's 10-day military operation. According to UK Defence Intelligence this morning, there's been no real let-up in fighting along the front line. And if we get into the front line, Bakhmut, that village has been talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks. The Russians have made some advances just to the north of Bakhmut in the little village of Soledar, where they have captured the salt mines that are there. And that's literally just to the north of the village itself, something that the Ukraine has been holding for quite some time. The Russians are trying to encircle Bakhmut to capture it. The Ukrainians are effectively blocking them and fixing them in place, whilst the Ukrainians then look at advances and are pushing and probing elsewhere. And again, UK Defence Intelligence talks of in the village of Kremina, to the west of that, in the forests there, that's the Ukrainians are making some advances forward. And they're trying to look and see if they can push through to this Russian line of communication that there is, and then potentially threaten the right flank of Bakhmut as the Russians are fixed in that place. So that's what's happening from a tactical perspective.
All right. And the United States made what could be a very significant announcement of further military aid, didn't they, last night? Tell us about that.
They did. Another $3.75 billion worth of aid, but the most significant bit are 50 of these, which is the Bradley infantry fighting vehicle. Now, the Bradley infantry fighting vehicle is different to the M113 battlefield taxis that have already been donated, and there's another 100 of those going in as well. They will allow troops to be taken up to the fighting location, but they then have to get out and go and fight through it because they're not protected enough to attack through it. Whereas the Bradley has got, you can see the 25mm chain gun, it's got a machine gun, and it's got 2 TOW anti-tank missiles. And this has got the armour and the fighting capability to fight through any position, destroy any Russian armoured vehicles, including main battle tanks, and then allow the infantry to dismount and fight back and clear the positions.
And when will they reach Ukrainian soil? No
time frame's been set yet, but what it's done is it's stimulated and is on the back of European announcements where the Germans have announced they're going to donate up to 40 Marder infantry fighting vehicles, and the French have said that they're going to give a number to be confirmed, AMX-10 wheeled tanks. So Ukraine's ability to fight an armoured battle is increasing.
OK, well, that certainly could be game-changing, couldn't it, as we go into the long winter. And what is the significance of reports of Russian equipment and troops going into Belarus?
Yeah, well, we've got Russian troops and equipment going into Belarus. We've also had an announcement that Ukrainian military intelligence said that Putin intends to call up another 500,000 individuals over the January period. Belarus, the threat from there splits the Ukrainian ability to carry out offensive operations in the east and to the north.
It's a great big border as well,
they have to look at that. And therefore, it's too early to tell whether we're looking at an attack from Belarus or whether they're going for Maskarovka, a bluff, just trying to split and suggest that they may come from there and stop the Ukrainians from concentrating their defences.